All right, guys, what's up? So, got the truck back together. Got the oil seal back in, new oil seal, no leaks. Took the truck out for a test drive, testing out the new boost controller strategy that I've been using. I was commanding 15 pounds. It was hitting 15 pounds. Everything was looking good there. I got a new catch can installed with 10 AN lines. So that looks good. After one of the pulls, I developed a misfire. Come home and started checking the temperature of each exhaust port. And number 7 back here was like 150 degrees, and all the other ones were, 300 degrees. So I pulled the plug and found that the plug was smashed. Looked inside the cylinder through the spark plug hole and seen where the piston had hit the spark plug, and noticed some other spots on that piston that wasn't there when I installed it. So I'm thinking probably lifted a ring land and broke that piston up. It's got a little bit of a knock and tick. So what I'm gonna do now is, instead of just pulling the whole engine, I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this head. I'll pull this head, it'll make it easier to get to the transmission anyway. So I'm just gonna pull the head. I don't have my spare motor, but I do have spare pistons. I checked the compression of that cylinder and it was 100 PSI. And back when I installed this engine, that cylinder had 150 PSI. Some of them, like number 6, was real low because that was the bad cylinder with a lot of rust in it. If y'all remember that, that's why this truck has a good bit of blow by. I was gonna run it, but it's making a noise, so I think I busted a ring land. I think the high intake air temps and just the 93 probably detonation lifted a ring land. So definitely we'll be doing an intercooler before I run this truck again. We'll either have, it'll probably have an air to water. Got plenty of room over here, got room in the bed for a tank, so we'll put an air to water on here. And still probably be on 93, but I am going to put a flex fuel on there eventually, and that way be able to run E85 also. So I'm going to go ahead and start tearing it apart, and I will bring y'all back when I get to a different point where it does not look like this anymore. So here's a final little look. I do like how that catch can came out. A little cheap catch can with 10 AN lines. Thing looks good. I'm gonna tear it apart. At the end of the day, it's a $500 engine, and I had a spare, but it's still in the buddy's truck right now because I gave him a core so he could get a new engine. But I have a box of spare pistons laying here, and I can source an LS pretty easily around here. So it is what it is. It gives me something to do. I'm gonna tear into it, and I'll show y'all what I find. I'm guessing right now a broke ring land, or the only other thing is a broke ring land, or it stretched the rod enough that it was able to hit this. But I don't think that's the case because I put it back in, ran it, and it was just making noise, but it never hit it again. So I'm gonna say it probably broke a ring land on number 7. All the other ones still had the same amount of compression in it. So all right, I'll bring y'all back when it's torn down a little bit further. So this is where I've gotten so far. Got the intake off, alternator bracket off, got the exhaust off, all the wiring pushed back. One thing I got left to do is pull the rockers and the push rods, and then we can pull this head and see what's going on. Everything looks good so far. I mean, it's clean. I run Royal Purple in it. I like the way it cleans the inside of an engine. The exhaust ports, that number 7, has definitely got a lot more oil So I think we're gonna have a cracked ring land or a busted piston or something in that hole. So yeah, we'll pull these rockers and push rods, and then we'll pull the head. I'll bring y'all back after I pull the head and let y'all see what's going on. Okay, so here it is. Cylinder number 7 is a busted piston. So it butted a ring and busted the piston. Going to go ahead and pull the engine out and check all the pistons, because if that one broke a ring land, then it's more than likely that there's another one cracked. So we'll pull it out, inspect everything, and change whatever's broken. Did score the cylinder wall a little bit, but I believe we can get that out with a dinghy ball hone. But yeah, I'm gonna pull the engine out and rebuild it. But there's your problem, a busted piston. So all right guys, I appreciate y'all watching, and we will be pulling this out, and I'll make a video and let y'all see the bottom end, and let you know what else I find inside this engine. But appreciate you watching, and I'll catch y'all later.